Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of 21-year-old Desiree Oldwoman, who was last seen at around 8:20 p.m. on August 27, 2011 at her home on the Siksika First Nation in southern Alberta, Canada. Now, during the night of her disappearance, she wandered off, or at least it's believed that she wandered off, from her residence to Highway 901, which extends Highway 22X from Highway 24 to Highway 1 near Gleichen. That's what it says here. RCMP says she may have walked onto the highway either that night or in the early morning of August 28th, suggesting that she may have wandered around somewhere else before then, I suppose, and then gotten picked up by an unknown person. Several search efforts have covered the area by land, by air, and water, leading to no results. Tips were also reported to police over the years, but officers have not been able to determine the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. Desiree is Indigenous. She is 5'4", 165 pounds with short brown hair and brown eyes. She has autism, is nonverbal, and unable to care for herself. She was last seen wearing a brown sweater and black track pants with a red stripe. She was not wearing shoes. She is also known to be drawn to fragrances such as perfume and air fresheners, and she has a love for plush animals. Desiree has not been seen or heard from since the night of her disappearance. There isn't a lot of information about this case, and that is why I was asked to do a reading on Desiree using the tarot, and we're going to do that starting off with the tarot of the New Vision, which is this one. And for any further questions, we'll move on to the Hush Tarot deck, which is this one. As per usual, I'm going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Alright, so that was a very quick shuffle. Let's take a look. We are starting off immediately with the Six of Swords, which is usually somebody guiding you or taking you to another location or talking you into another train of thought, etc. So this, I'm thinking, is somebody who encounters her. I'm looking at the person with the actual stave there, pushing the boat along, with Desiree sitting in front, basically being the person who's being transported or convinced to do something else or think another way. I'm thinking that they encounter her and they're like, I'm going to guide you somewhere safe, like that type of thing, because the next card that we see here is the Six of Cups, which is almost like a callback to the past. Maybe also having some memories of the past where they may have encountered something similar. So this may be somebody who is a bit of a Samaritan, trying to take care of her, at least trying to get her somewhere safe. Not sure exactly how they went about that, but we see here we have the Knave or the Page of Wands. And next to that, we have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Swords next to that. So I'm thinking this symbolizes that they try to do the best, but they're a little inexperienced in this regard. And then we encounter the Queen of Swords, who has more of a critical opinion on the matter, turning their back on them. First of all, at the Knave card over here, walking away with the torch, but we also have here the Queen of Swords with, I'm guessing that looks a bit like a funeral in the background, like no love lost here between this person and I'm guessing Desiree, because they just do not see the point in helping her out. And we have here the Three of Swords with people kind of walking away from the entire thing as well. So maybe this is now a very quick abandonment as well. At least an abandonment of the heart, because the next card that we see here is the Eight of Pentacles, which is working very hard on something, trying to achieve something, Could be that they tried to put her to work or something and they wanted something from her, but she was constantly on her guard, having to fend things off, but not being able to. Well, we know that she wasn't really able to take care of herself, so she maybe was being asked to do all sorts of things that were perhaps a little too complicated for her to understand or carry out, and that's why she was constantly being challenged on how badly she was doing things. Not entirely sure what that was, but I'm guessing more along the lines, since we have the Queen of Swords here, that it was more like chore-based type of things. I'm not sure what type of people these are, but I'm getting this vision of a man brings an unknown woman to house, and his wife is like, who is this? What are we supposed to do with this person? Well, let's at least try to get her to do something useful like the dishes or whatever it is. No idea, but let's take a look at the next row. We have the Devil in reverse, and we have the Page of Cups. Now, a lot of people are afraid of the Devil card, but what it actually is some type of enslavement or something that you are tied to. You can see that the people in front of the pillar have chains leading to their necks, and this with the Page of Cups as well makes me think that perhaps she was not somebody who was going to let them bind her down in any way. She did not cooperate. That's the vibe I'm getting here. This may have led to multiple negative confrontations, things that made the mood turn sour, which this Page of Cups is kind of showing. Usually the Page of Cups is like a surprise. Doesn't have to be a positive one. But the way that they are looking at these multiple shells over there is, I'm guessing, also referencing the fact that they did not expect as much trouble from keeping her around as perhaps they encountered, but in any case did not want to be tamed, did not want to do what they asked them to do. Then we have the Eight of Cups, unable to walk away from something because it's in reverse, and we have the Nine of Swords. So I'm guessing this is more of a, what are we going to do now? We can't just let her go. We can't just send her off on her way because they can't really do anything. Maybe they've also tried to just bring her to the road to see if she'll walk off on her own, like that type of situation. And then she just kind of wanders back in because what else is she going to do? And that is causing them great concern. Maybe also thinking of what this means for them, what the consequences are, worrying about what other people might think, etc. It's keeping them up at night. What to do with Desiree. We have now the Knight of Cups, only really focusing on his own thing, ignoring everybody else. Perhaps also acting impulsively on their own emotions, because I'm noticing mostly the wings on top of the helmet, like their thoughts are really guiding their quick actions, and their thoughts are guided by their feelings. So perhaps they're like, well, how do we get rid of this? How do we get rid of the anxiety? What shall we do? And then the last two on this line are the Hanged Man in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse. Maybe they went and talked to somebody about the situation and they completely misrepresent the situation itself, leading this Hierophant or this person that they trusted to give them advice that perhaps did not match the situation, but of course they're only going off of what this pair is telling them. So perhaps they told them the wrong thing, leading to the wrong advice. And this is only further confirmed by the fact that the person who is hanging from the pole has a bit of a light aura around them, and the crowd at the base is in darkness, so perhaps they are misled or their eyes are blinded to the truth that this person who they are actually coming for is not as bad as the other people are trying to make them seem, demonized basically. And maybe also over here we have a demon right there, so maybe they're like, oh my god, this person, they feel like Desiree is much worse than she actually is, and therefore they're like, how do we get rid of this terrible problem that we have, which of course then the Hierophant has some type of advice for, or at least they're involved under false pretenses. Let's see what happens next. We have the Three of Wands. Okay, Three of Wands. We've got some travel plans. We are looking to get rid of Desiree. We're not sure where we're going yet, perhaps, but they are definitely working on that part of the issue. Maybe they have somewhere that they think that she could best go, or... Oh my god, okay, there we go. At least 4, including this one. This one came last. Let's grab this little stack first. There we go. We have, this is Justice. And let's see what else. We have the 5 of Cups. All right. We have the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Cups in reverse. This seems like they told her they were going to do the right thing by her. They were going to do this, they're going to do that. They're going to bring them to somebody who's going to help them find whoever their family is or something along those lines. Meanwhile, they are hinting over here to all the things that went wrong and how it made them feel, like, oh, you're just not a good fit with us, and we need this, and that's not what you have, or etc., or something that they somehow cannot go without mentioning. And then we have the imagined great future over here with the 10 of Pentacles that perhaps they are telling Desiree she's going to walk into by following them to this person who's going to do right by them. And we are confirmed by that, or confirmed on that, by the King of Cups in reverse. Emotionally manipulative, and perhaps this is also the Hierophant being able to pacify her and find some way to get her to cooperate, handing out anything or giving them anything that they might want in order to get them to walk along with them and not cause a scene like that. Let's put these guys down. Let's see what else. That one. This is the 9 of Swords again. All right, so again, 9 of Swords, but this time it's in reverse. So maybe they are feeling like they are now solving the issue. It's a worry that is falling off of them because now the rocks, of course, due to gravity, are going to leave this person. They carry a little bit of guilt with them, but that's all. The rest is going to go off their shoulders, so they feel relieved of this issue. I'm guessing this is the part where Desiree is actually being taken to this other person, or at least taken off of these people's hands. Nothing turned here. No. Okay, that one turned then. Chariot in reverse, things are slowed down. Okay, so we're not moving as quickly as perhaps they wanted to. I'm also wondering if this is pointing towards being institutionalized, because perhaps they were like, oh no, this person needs to be under special care, and maybe that is where they took them, because the horse that this person is riding is actually not a real horse. They're sitting on top of it as though they were actually going to go somewhere. But it's one of those carnival horses, like the merry-go-round type, and it looks pretty real, but it's not going to go anywhere. And so maybe she's in a place where she thinks that she could perhaps leave, but they keep giving her to go around, like, oh, you can go after lunch, you can go this, and you can do that, and all you have to do is sit here, take your medicine, like that type of thing. Death is in reverse. She may not be able to let go of this. This is something that she's now stuck in. I'm reminded of the fact that people on the spectrum tend to have, of course, a certain way that they like things done, and if that is not what is happening, they just cannot handle it, or at least they have a very tough time handling change. But this bird is just building the nest on top of this skull, whether the skull likes it or not. So I feel like this is more, we're gonna do the things that we feel we need to do, whether you like it or not, so you might as well settle in. That's what I'm seeing here. Two of these and this bunch. All right, let's see. 3 of Cups. We're not getting along with anybody here. Again, with the animal that is probably supposed to be on a merry-go-round because it has that rod running through it, still trying to escape, but not managing it because there's just too much in place to keep her from leaving. The Queen of Swords is also here. This is somebody else perhaps who is manipulative as well. Like they're not shooting the arrow, but they are drowning the crow, as you can see over here. So even though they are not violent, they're able to keep people under control. And this is not the first time that they've done that, because there's 2 other crows down there underwater. So not her first rodeo either. Somebody who is kind of comparable. At least what comes to mind is that the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, he had that head nurse. I'm not saying she's exactly like that, or this person, whoever this may be, but it's kind of like the vibe I'm getting over here. Somebody who has dealt with people who want to, of course, leave an institution. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll go outside, like I said over here. But she just kind of turns it up a notch by making sure that they never actually get what they want. Then we have the Star and the Hermit. Interesting combination, because the Hermit is in reverse. This, I think, is perhaps her case somehow coming to her attention. Like they're hearing about somebody who has her condition, somebody who looks like her, who has gone missing. They're like, oh my God, that's her. And then they're like, never mind, just keep her here, keep quiet, because the Hermit is in reverse. Now we're just going to not focus on how we may be able to make this situation better. We're just kind of like going to lay low and hope that nobody comes looking. And if they do come looking, we won't know anything about it, like that type of thing. Let's see, we're going back to the new vision. Let's see actually if we can get some cards on whether we're going to find more out about her case, like if we are going to learn about her location, etc. Okay, the wheel. The wheel is in reverse, and we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. The wheel being in reverse, I'm thinking is the people on the card, or at least the creatures on the card, are reading books. But because the card is in reverse, I feel like that means that they may be researching, but they're not actually getting any more information. And the wheel being in reverse, I think, is only going to make things worse. I don't think they're going to learn anything new anytime soon, at least not while studying. Also, we have here the Page of Pentacles, like I said, and that means that these investments that are made into the case perhaps were not made in the right way. We see this a lot with these readings, that the resources aren't quite spent the way that they should be, at least not spent in a way that would lead to a positive outcome. Which is not to say that they're just wasting money, but it's more like if you were to spend it on this rather than that, we would get a little closer. But of course, there's no real way to know exactly which way is the best way. The card is just saying that the way that they're currently doing it is not going to help that much. So let's see if we get any more cards. All right, so we got at least 4 of them. 3 of Cups and the 10 of Cups in reverse. All right, so there are people working together. They're working very hard, and they are at least on board with each other. So that's good. They have a positive vibe going on. Perhaps they're also very positive about the future of the case. They may feel like they're going to eventually break through. At least the working together, the working relationship is good, but so far they haven't actually booked a lot of positive progress yet. Over here with the 10 of Cups, that happy after hasn't actually been reached yet. There is, however, a new idea, a new initiative coming up that unfortunately will not lead to a lot of sunshine, may not bring like a lot of extra light on the case, but it does have them, basically they're inspired with this Knight of Swords to try something completely different. At least a new tactic that they are following here with the Knight of Swords, who is charging ahead, perhaps without thinking too deeply or planning too much. And that may or may not lead to good results. I'm guessing they're going to be a little too hasty in some ways. Okay, I think these are probably the last cards because it's quite a large stack. They're unable to let go of something, though. And we had this death card right here as well. So they may not be willing to give up on this new idea of theirs, not looking to close this chapter yet. We do have the star up right here, which is a good sign. And then they move on it with the Three of Wands. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And this Seven of Pentacles being in reverse and having a spectral figure in the top. With this combination of these two cards as well, brings to mind that once they do find something that is more ironclad, something that's actually going to lead to more information on the case. That's usually how I see the star, like the star, somebody's rising to the horizon. It's like, oh my God, there they are, or that's a good place for us to start looking. And they move on it. Like I said, with the Three of Wands, they may even bring a whole bunch of stuff with them, make a whole operation out of it. And then when they get to this place, or this, the new discovery, basically, they've got everything on the table. They perhaps find that they are too late. So it could be that whatever they discover, this kind of sounds like they actually figure out where she went. And then they go there and then they're told like, oh yeah, that person passed away like 5 years ago due to pneumonia or something. Like something that makes it too little too late. Like that is what I'm seeing here. Particularly because of the spectral form that is floating overhead. Now that is in a way a positive, because they are actually looking at the people that are achieving this result. So I kind of do feel like even though they may not find her alive, that some part her spirit will be at least put to rest, that they found something of hers at that point. Kind of like how sometimes you have a haunting, if you call it that, or at least some type of spiritual energy in a room, and then they find an object or they find remains of somebody and that gets put to rest, and then the haunting or the activity stops. Like that is what I'm saying. Like there's something that needs to be done for the spirit to go to rest. And then with this card in particular, also now mirroring the Ten of Cups, maybe kind of like a victory for her, but for the people on Earth still, it might not seem like that. That's what I'm trying to say. So, well, perhaps not the ending that we would like. It looks like there might at least be some type of conclusion to this case. And that is what I'm seeing for Desiree Oldwoman. I hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. I hope to see you in the next reading. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.